Hi, I'm Ed, and I'm going to show you how I make live rock for my aquarium. I start with 3 basic ingredients: crushed oyster shells, white Portland cement, and extra coarse rock salt. The crushed oyster shells I found at a local feed store. They cost $9 for a 50-pound bag. Not that hard to find. You should be able to find it in your area. The next ingredient is white Portland cement. I was only able to find this at a local masonry supply store in a 100-pound bag. It was $24, so I really ended up buying a ton, a lot more than I needed. The third ingredient is extra coarse rock salt. I bought this one at the animal feed store for $3.89 for a 50-pound bag. Really cheap. Now the proportions I use 3 scoops of the crushed oyster shells. Then I add 1 scoop of the white Portland cement. Mix them together, add water, keep mixing until it turns into like a thick oatmeal for its texture. Once you hit that, you're going to want to add 2 scoops of the rock salt. And you don't want to mix it too much once you put the rock salt in, because the rock salt, if you mix it too much, will dissolve in the water and will really damage how strong the concrete is once it's all set up. So that's how you make your cement mix to pour in the molds for your live rock. Okay, so to make the molds for the live rock, I use pool sand, which is a limestone white sand. I got it at the masonry supply store for $12 a 100-pound bag. I put half in one container and half in another, and you wet it down so it's workable. So you can grab a handful and it sticks together. Now what I've made here is I've made one larger branch shape here, one smaller shelf-like shape here, and a round circular shape that looks kind of like a donut that has a hole in the center. And you take your concrete mix and you just shovel it in. I'm going to actually try combining 2 of these shapes just to see what happens. And if I don't like it, I can always break them apart later. And then once you complete that, just take the sand from the other bucket and cover them up. Cover them up gently so you don't screw up the tops. If you pack it down too tight, it'll flatten them out and they'll just look like bricks of concrete instead of porous rocks. Okay, now that we've let our live rocks set up, it's time to take them out and see what we got. I am impatient and only wait 12 hours, which isn't that great, but I do it anyways. And they're about hard enough to take out. I just transfer the sand from one container to the next until I get to where I think I can get my rock out without hurting it. So there's one of our pieces. And if we keep digging, we'll get to the others. second piece. Now we're ready to wash out the rocks and see what we have. Okay, so now we've washed off some of our rocks and we can see what they look like. Oh. Here we have one branch kind of shape. I'll bring it up a little closer so you can see the texture of it. I'll just show you one other piece that came out of this last batch. Alright, so that's the fun part. When you put it in the water, I sit it in the water for about a week because the Portland cement, what sets it up is a chemical reaction between the cement and the water. And I keep it in cold water, and I change out the water periodically because it gets salty from all the dissolving rock salt. So I leave it in here for about a week, changing the water about once a day. Okay, so now I'm going to just show you kind of how porous the rock turns out once it's all finished. Pour a little water on top, and it never makes it down the side. Just kind of sinks right into the rock. Okay, now that you've made your dead rock, it's time to turn it into live rock. Now in order to do that, you need to take a piece of live rock from someone else's established aquarium or from the local pet store and seed your rock with the bacteria and algae that is on that rock. It'll take a few months, and all you need to do is read up a little on it, and I wish you the best of luck. Have fun.